everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today's video I'm going to be talking about ways to find a cruise roommate if you have no one to cruise with. So there's some people out there I know that want to go on cruises, and sometimes they don't have anybody like close friend or family that wants to go on a cruise, and this video hopefully will help you get some ideas on how to reach out and find someone that is willing to share the cost of a cruise with you to try and save a little bit of money. Because this came about, I'm right now in the process of planning a group cruise. Groupcation 2020, we're going to Cuba. If you're interested, check the description box or send me an email and I can send you out some information. So there's a few people who are wanting to go but will be potentially cruising solo. So I'm trying to find ways to help them cover their extra costs, and I figured this might help somebody else. So one of the tips I have first is to join some social media sites where you can meet up with other people like-minded. There are tons and tons of different cruise groups on Facebook, and that probably would be your best place to start, to feel out some people, see how many cruises they've been on, kind of see how they post, how they respond to posts and things like that. So there's Facebook, there's Instagram, there's Twitter. Cruise Critic is a big cruising site, and they have tons and tons of forums and chat groups and things like that where you can find people. Shipmate is a cruise app. Same thing, you sign up for Shipmate app, it's free. You can look at profiles, you can join different cruise groups of things that are going, and you can just navigate through that site and see what's available that might be of interest to you. But probably your biggest place would be Facebook, because there are Carnival groups, there's Royal Caribbean groups, general cruise groups, Norwegian, Princess, Celebrity, whatever cruise line you want to go on. Next, once you are in a group, I think it's best to just sort of look around first, like I said before, and see who likes to cruise, who's never been on a cruise, because that could potentially pose a problem for someone who's never been on a cruise. And then there's going to be some questions that I think that you could ask the people for compatibility. So let's get into the questions. Before we even start, the very first important question, let's say you've found a potential roommate. The first question you need to ask is, how serious are you about this cruise? You know, are you planning to actually go? Because unless someone has the money right then and there to book the cruise in full, chances are they're going to be making payments on it until the cruise is paid in full. And you want to make sure that your potential roommate is actually going to pay for the cruise, because if their portion is $524 and then they only end up paying $497, you're stuck with the balance. You know what I mean? Like if they decide, oh, I'm not going to go, or I can't go, or something happened, but whatever balance is not paid, that could potentially be on you to pay if they decide to change their mind. So that's something that you really want to say, yes, I'm going to pay my part. Though that's the first place to start. Feel people out and see if they're going to really pay. Okay, so another question that you should be asking someone that could be a potential roommate is, what type of cabin do you prefer? Some people want to go as cheap as possible and get an inside cabin. Some people want to splurge and get a balcony or a suite. So, you know, the prices change based on the type of cabin category you choose. So make sure you both want the same type of cabin. Ask what the age range is for a potential roommate. You know, if you're 25, do you want to room with someone who's 65, or do you want someone who's closer to your age? Would you prefer someone a little bit older so you don't run into problems of clashing that way? So make sure you both discuss your age differences and make sure that's not going to be a problem. A nice general question is, are you typically a neat person or a messy person? So that way if you're going to walk into the room and trip over a pair of shoes, or if they're going to have some pantyhose hanging from the shower curtain, find out in general, because we're all a little messy, we're all a little neat, but find out how they like to keep their ship cabin when they're on a cruise. Find out if they're a night owl or if they're an early riser. That could potentially propose a problem if you're a person who likes to sleep in, but you pick a roommate who wants to get up with the sun and start exercising in the middle of the floor. Find out like what type of person you are. And you also don't want someone, or it might not be a problem, but that might roll in at 3 or 4 in the morning. They're like, yeah, let's keep the party going. And you're like, I go to bed at 9:30. So find out what kind of sleeper they are. Nice way, find out, do you snore? Do you mind if I snore? Do I need to bring you some earplugs? That's another good question. Just find out what kind of sleeper they are. Because if you're a light sleeper and they snore like a bear, then that might be a problem. But if you don't care, then it's all good. Another question would be, find out if they like to sleep with the TV on, or if they need a nightlight on, or if they need complete silence or complete darkness. Some people like to have white noise in the background or listen to music as they fall asleep. That's a good question to find out, just to see if it'll cause a problem for you. If they like to sleep with the TV on or have a nightlight, then that's just something that you could bring a eye sleeper, cover your eyes while you're sleeping, and then there you go. It won't be a problem. But good to know. Thing I think you should find out is, are they a big social cruiser? Like, will they meet people on the ship and then have them come back to the cabin? Find out if they are a social cruiser. So they might be cruising by themselves, but they might meet someone and bring them back to the room and things like that. So you want to make sure that if that's not something you're comfortable with, somebody being in the room that you don't know, who might be going through your stuff or looking at your stuff or wanting to, talk to you, whatever. So find out, and maybe you two could set some ground rules of, I don't want anybody else in the room but us, so maybe your new friends could wait in the hallway while you come and change your shoes. Something like that. Another big question is, especially if you're going to cruise on Carnival, because they have the Cheers program, find out if they plan to get any of the drink packages that are offered with the cruise ships, because sometimes each adult in the room has to get the package. So if you don't drink and they do, and they want to buy the Cheers package, that means you would have to buy it and spend, I believe it's close to $52 a day to get the unlimited drinks. So that's something that you definitely want to find out, because if you want it and they don't, or if they want it and you don't, then you're not a good match, because you would both have some things I do think you should remember though that are important is to be respectful no matter what. Even if you pick a roommate and you don't particularly get along personality wise, still be respectful. You don't have to bow down or whatever, but you're going to share this space for 3 to 7 days, however long your cruise is. So just each other be respectful. Be considerate. Just like you want your roommate to be considerate of you and your space, be considerate of your time, do the same with them. Give them the same consideration that you expect them to give to you, and you'll have a great cruise. Mind your business, okay? Like, if you're cruising with someone and you don't really know them, mind your business. If they want to not brush their teeth for the whole cruise, that's none of your business. Don't even say anything. Walk past their toothbrush like you don't even see it. So just mind your business, because it will save you so much stress if you're not worrying about what they're doing. The room is paid for. That's all you wanted, was to not have to pay double cost. So whatever is going on the left side of the room, got nothing to do with you. Stuff that's not yours. Like, if you didn't bring it, don't bother it. That way the last 3 rules of mind your business, being considerate, being respectful are put into place. You know what I mean? Like, if your roommate lays down a $20 bill, don't touch that $20 bill. That's not yours. Don't eat their food. If they bring on a case of soda and you don't go in the fridge and open up their Pepsi. Just don't touch their stuff. And this last tip, I think, is the most important tip of anything I've said in the last 10 minutes. And that is to don't expect to be friends with the roommate. If you're going on this cruise and you're just sharing a room with this person to save costs, do not expect them to hang out with you on the cruise. And might not want to hang out with you. So don't be like, oh, you getting dressed? We're going to the club. Can I come? No, like, you can mention things like, oh, hey, girl, look, I see on the fun times they got karaoke at 9:45. I love karaoke. If you're not doing nothing, come down. Let's do it together. You know, something like that. You could mention things like that, but don't expect it. Don't just follow behind that person, because in reality, you don't know them. They're not your friend, and they're not obligated to hang out with you just because they decided to room with you. They just wanted not to spend $1,200 versus spending $600. You know what I mean? So hopefully you have enough social skills where if you want to meet people on the cruise, you're out there, you're talking to people that are at trivia or people that are at bingo or karaoke. They're doing the things that you like to do. So sort of talk to people on a cruise. People on cruises are the friendliest peoples in the world. So you could have a zillion friends and have people meet up with you and do things. But just remember that just because you're sharing a cabin with this person, they are not obligated to hang out with you for the duration of the cruise. Guys, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video gave somebody somewhere some helpful tips. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. If you are interested in Groupcation 2020, information is in the description box, and you can message me there. You can send me an email, ednabug75@gmail.com, and I can send you some information. Or I will put my information for Snapchat and Instagram on the screen, so you can follow me on Snapchat and Instagram, and you can ask me there, and I'll give you some information. I appreciate you stopping by, and I will see you next time. Bye.